Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to a safety meeting gameplay series. Today we are continuing our survival in Rising World. And we've actually only been in this world for a couple of days, so we just got ourselves started. So we got the basics taken care of and some of our tools as well. But there's two more things that I do need to make if we want to do what I have planned for today's episode. The first thing I would like to do is just get a quick little farm going someplace over here. Just a small plot just to get the seeds going. And also, I'd like to do some exploration. We have a big lake over on the other side of this hill here that I haven't even looked at yet. I just walked over to the edge and decided this is where home is going to be. So I'd really like to check that out and actually see how big this lake is, and if there might be some cool places for a permanent home. Because right now, this is just our little spot to get us started. I don't plan on actually staying in here. So we need to build a hoe for farming and a compass for our exploration. Now the compass is almost always one of the first things that I do before I even go exploring, just so I don't get lost. And I'll explain how that thing works here in a little bit. But for right now, let's get this hoe going. Now, if I remember right, well, first let's check that I didn't make it already and just forgot. Okay, I haven't made it yet. So what we need is, I keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. Alright, so there's the head. It only takes one iron ingot and we got 3. So let's go ahead and get that crafted. And I could craft the compass right now at the same time, but I'm just going to concentrate on one thing at a time here. So let's get under tools. Okay, so we already have a stick in the inventory and we just made our head. So let's go ahead and craft that. So now we can start farming. What do we have in the way of seeds anyway? Oh, let's see. We got lettuce saplings. That's it. We just got lettuce saplings. Alright, so we need to grab our sickle for some seeds, our rake, and we already have our hoe. Okay, so that's everything that we're going to need. Let's just go ahead and get our rake in hand, because we're going to smooth out an area. So I think the best thing is just going to be to have a small plot over here, and this is just to get us started. So let's go ahead and start smoothing some of this out. Now you could use the sickle or the scythe for this. If you use the sickle, you'd get some grass seeds back, but right now, I don't really need those right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to get this area a little bit flattened out anyway. So right now I'm right-clicking just to bring this area up, just a touch. Okay, and then back to left-click. Okay, I think that's going to be plenty for right now, because we only have a couple of things to plant anyway. So let's get out our hoe. Now what we want to do is just right-click with the hoe, and you can see that it instantly just makes a little farming plot. So anywhere we have that texture right there, we can go ahead and plant some seeds. So I think, like I said, we don't need this very big, so let's just go ahead and call that good right there. Once we got our little plot going, all we have to do is put some seeds in our hand. And let's take some of these, I think it's the lettuce. We'll take this lettuce sapling and go ahead and put it down. So now you can see the little ghost sapling that shows you where it's going to be placed. You can do this one of two ways. You can either just freely place all of your saplings wherever you feel like it, or you can actually use a grid. If you press G, now you can see that my sapling just kind of snapped over a little bit to the right. Now it's not going to put it wherever, it's going to put it on a grid pattern. So if we start moving to the right, you can see that sapling is actually snapping to a grid. I'm not terribly concerned whether my saplings are straight at this point or not, so what I'm going to do is just randomly place them. And I'm going to right click it, and you see that little bar down below. It takes just a second for the saplings to plant by holding right click, and we're good to go. So there's our first saplings. Let's get our sickle out, and I think this is tomato. Yep, it's a tomato plant that wasn't quite ripe yet, but it should have given us some seeds. Alright, so now we have a tomato sapling. So let's put that in our hand, and we just do the same thing. We'll put it over here since these get a little bit tall. So we just right click, move over a little bit, and you just keep doing that until you have a row. And that's literally all there is to farming. All you need is the hoe and a little plot of land, and grab yourself some seeds and you're good to go. And there's a bunch of seed types too. There's a lot of different veggies and things like that that you can plant in the game. which is really cool. Okay, so now that we got that taken care of, I think what my plan is, we're just going to leave that as is for right now. And when we go on our exploration, we'll probably end up finding a whole bunch of saplings that we can bring back and get those planted. And I can see my hunger is starting to turn a little bit yellow right now. We're not in any kind of danger or anything like that, but just in case, because I do tend to forget sometimes, we're going to go ahead and get a drink of water. Oh, we do have some potatoes, so I'm going to eat me some raw taters here. Alright, at least we're good for a minute now. So now what I want to do is get ready for some exploration. And for that, we want to build a compass. And for the compass, we want to go under utilities, compass. We need an iron plate and a copper rod. Now we have everything that we need for that. We just haven't actually made the plates or the rod yet. So if we go into our anvil, under resources, as long as we have a ingot in our inventory, we can make any of the things in here. So I think we have 2 iron ingots left. So let's go ahead and make our iron plate. We'll craft that. And we also need a copper rod. But in order for a copper rod, we have to have a plate. So go up to copper plate real fast, craft that. Now we can make our rod. And you can see that for making that 1 copper plate, you come over here, we're going to get 4 copper rods, which is kind of nice. Okay, so we have everything we need there. And let's go back over to this table and craft our compass. Sweet. Ooh. I don't know what that cracking sound is. I gotta figure that out. If anybody knows what that cracking is, let me know. It's like El Chupacabra or something. Well, let's check out this compass real fast so we know what that thing does. Now you can see it's over in our equipment slot already. Now in order to use that, if we hold down K, now you can see that we have a compass. Now this thing has 2 different functions. The large red needle will always point north. So no matter what, you'll always be able to tell which direction north is. As long as you know where north is, you can pretty much figure everything else out. But the second thing that it does, more importantly, in my opinion, is that little red arrow down on the bezel, right along the edge. You can see when I move, it rotates all the way around. What that thing is actually pointing at is this. It's pointing right at our shelter. So no matter where we are in the world, if we get our compass out, that is going to be pointing wherever our shelter is. So I don't care how lost you are, as long as you're willing to do the walk, you'll be able to find your way back. Provided you're not stuck in a cave or something like that. So I've done that before. Alright, well, looks like night is upon us here, so let's go sleep real fast. And we'll go do an exploration. Alright, good morning everybody. We got a nice sunrise, we have no breakfast, we have no food. But that's okay, we're gonna explore. You know one thing that I'd like to do real fast? Yeah, let's find out. Okay, yeah, I never did make any kind of weapons. What kind of weapons do we even have the option of making? So we got the sword, the battle axe, and the morning star. So we need 2 ingots for that, 2 for that. Only 1 for a sword. Well, I prefer to have probably the battle axe, but since we're out of iron, let's at least make a sword. Alright, sweet. Now we can hack things to pieces. Awesome. Alright, so here's the lake that we want to go explore. I have absolutely no idea how big this is or anything, so let's just dive right in. Hopefully we don't die or anything, because I'm not going to really tread too carefully. So we've already got a bunch of ore that we passed. That looked like it was probably some copper. So for right now, I don't really have a destination in mind. I'm just going to kind of cruise around, and more than anything, I'd really like to find some vegetables and a few good ores and things like that. And I got ore all over the place. I'm not going to bother taking any of the ores that are right next to the house, just because they're so close. I can come back and get those anytime. But for right now... Ooh, you know what we should have done? Put a torch out. Let's put a torch. That way if we come back at night, We'll at least know if we're close to home. We'll do some swimming. Billy. What up, Billy Goat? Okay, let's pop a torch right up at the top of this hill right here. I think this is, yep, there's home. This way, if we happen to stumble upon home without realizing it, at least we have a torch greeting us. There we go. Okay. So my official prediction is we'll see this torch as we're coming up over this little bend right here. So let's go this way. See what kind of trouble we can find. Now, the one thing that you can do with these tomatoes, and I recommend that you pick them first, is use your action key, pick the tomato, and then take the sapling. That way you'll get both. You'll get something to eat, and you'll get the seeds as well. We're already passing by a ton of ores just sitting there right at the surface. I'm not going to grab any of the stuff that's so close to the base right now, just to keep our inventory. Ooh, there's a moose. Now, I think those only come at you if you provoke them. I'm not sure. Should we test that theory? Wonder how fast we can run. Well, let's go see if he kills us just from walking up by him. Hello, Mr. Moose. Are you gonna hurt me? Hello? Okay, so apparently you gotta provoke those guys. I'm leaving. Don't worry, I'm leaving. Okay, he was kind of watching me. I got scared for a second. Not gonna lie. Alright, well here's a nice forested area. I'm sure this is probably chock full of bear. Oh, cool. It looks like we got like a little inlet here. Some kind of a... Oh, wow. It is. It's almost like a little river. So we're still not too far from home. I think home is just over on the other side there. So this is the original body of water. And it looks like it splits off. Ooh, uh-oh. We got hovering bear. Those are the scariest kind. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. You just stay where you're at. That's right. You turn your back. This is a really cool area. Can I make it? Yep, here we go. Wow, this is a really cool area, actually. This right here might actually be a pretty cool spot for a permanent homestead. We'd have water all the way around us. That might be a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna put another torch right here. Now, if I wanted to do this the easy way, I would just hit, I think it's the F3 button, and write down the coordinates of where that was at. But since we're in survival, technically I don't have an F3 button. I think that's the one that would actually give you your coordinates. But, again, since we're in survival, I'm pretending we don't have it. Sorry if I'm getting you dizzy. I thought... Oh, okay. It was a moose. Couldn't remember if it was a moose or a bear I saw come up over that. Wow, we got like a bird fight going outside my window. That's pretty wild. Just adds to the realism of the game. Hey, I finally see some more tomatoes. I was expecting to have a lot more seeds by now, but I guess because we're just kind of hovering around the edge, just kind of taking the shoreline, we're not finding too much in the way of stuff to munch on. I do feel like I'm going to come up upon a bear, though. I see a watermelon. Now, the watermelon, I think, don't work like tomatoes. I think if I take that, I don't get the seeds. Let's find out. I'm going to try to just take it first. Yeah, the whole thing disappeared. Okay, so for a watermelon, if you want the seeds, don't take it first. Just hack at it with your sickle. Oh, there's another watermelon. Okay, so if we go into our inventory, we've got a watermelon there now. Now let's just hack at it. Okay, now we have watermelon seeds because we didn't take it. Now let me show you the watermelon real fast since we did find one. It works a little bit differently than every other food in the game. Now watermelon, you can get really good food and good thirst quench off of the same thing. Now right now you can't do anything with it because it's a full watermelon. If we right click and just hold it, there, now we just cut it into pieces. Now we still haven't eaten a piece yet. You have to right click again. And now we just ate some watermelon. And that's one of the quickest ways in the game to get your hunger and thirst and actually your health as well. If your health is really low, just keep on eating the watermelon and it'll start bringing your health bar back up. Alright, so I think we're on the far edge of the lake if home is that way. Yeah, it looks like home is directly... So, it's a pretty decent sized lake. I think where I put that torch is going to end up being permanent home. Let me know what you guys think if you like that spot. Not only do I want your advice on how to play the game, but I'd also like to know your opinions on good spots. Like if you see a good place, let me know. But I think where we put that torch is going to end up being pretty cool. I think we're almost around the lake, actually. I'm not positive, but we're probably pretty close. Ooh, what's that? No, is that strawberries? Yep, I think that was strawberries. Yes. Oh, what kind of biome is that? Oh, we got like a desert over here. Got a pumpkin. Starting to get nighttime too. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. This is wild. I've never seen anything looking like this yet. We got palm trees and sand. We found the tropics. Hopefully we're getting a little closer to home here since it's getting dark. No idea where we're at right now. I kind of ended up wandering a little bit. Well, I guess we'll get this guy out just in case. Oh, we got some strawberries. Sweet. Wouldn't have saw those without the torch. It's definitely very dark. Where are we? Hey, there's the torch. I think that's either the torch by the shelter or the one that I put up by the edge of the water. Oh, there's the edge of the water torch. So there's home. Alright, so that ended up being about a 20-minute walk altogether around the lake. So that wasn't too bad. Here, let's do this first. Let's sleep real fast, that way we can see. Then we'll check out what we got. So I will see you in a moment. Alright, let's see what we got going on as far as a little farm now. Because I pretty well have this whole area picked clean as far as veggies. Nope, my tomatoes are growing. Now one thing as far as when the vegetables are done, I think when you're able to grab them, I think that just means they're done. So I don't think you can prematurely pick these. So we got watermelon, potatoes, carrots, strawberries. Wow, and a ton of tomatoes. Gonna have to make a bigger farm. I don't know if you can plant watermelon too close to each other or not. I guess we'll find out. Alright, so now, I don't even know what this is. I think this is the potato. Alright, so there's our strawberries, and now... I'm not going to do all of the tomato plants because we have so many of them. I got that whole little section completely filled now. I probably put way too many watermelons down in the same spot, but that's okay. Alright, so now one thing that I have to do real fast since we have our little farm plot going. Whoops. No, I want you. There we go. We'll probably want the rake too. Let's mow some lawn real fast here. Let's clear this area out. So I'm going to spend about 5 minutes clearing this spot out real fast. So I'm going to be back in just a second. Okay. So here's our little plot going right now. Now I think that the one spot where I'm thinking about building the house isn't too far from here. It's only about right in that area, I think. Not too far away. We did a little bit of exploring. We got our farm. Now I think what we need to do is do a little bit of mining. So I think I'm going to postpone figuring out whether I'm going to build over in that spot and actually start doing some mining. Because what I'd really like to do is get the saw table as well. If we go under crafting stations, the saw bench. This is what we need for furniture and things like that. But most importantly, because I plan on doing some mining now, is we need chests. We need storage. And in order to get a chest, we have to create a saw bench. So I think that's going to be next on our agenda, is a saw bench and a block bench. So that's probably what we'll do in the next episode, is take care of those two tables, and we'll go over everything that those do. So I think for right now, this is a perfect spot to wrap it up. So as always, I appreciate everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave me a like. I appreciate those as well. And I will see you guys soon for another episode of Rising World.